Hi everyone, welcome to the ClickSpeak channel. In today's videos, we're gonna see a short story called Little Woman. In 1861, in a small village in America, four sisters were gathering in the home. The oldest one is Meg, the second one is Joe, the third one is Amy, and the youngest one is Beth. That night, Meg and Joe had planned to go to a dance party at Maggie's friend's house. When Joe was doing Meg's hair, she accidentally burned Meg's hair. Thankfully, her carelessness didn't cause much trouble. It was Joe's first party, so Maggie explained to the do's and don'ts party. She should never talk too fast, flirt, or praise the boys too much, and many other rules. During the party, Joe didn't do anything besides watching her sister dance with her friends. Differently from Meg's graceful nature, Joe's character was the exact opposite. She is tomboyish, careless, and introverted, bored with the party. Joe then looked for a quiet place to take a break. She then met a boy named Laurie. It turns out that Laurie is the son of a rich family who lived in front of Joe's house. The two of them then talked at length about each other. Joe told him that her father was at war, while Laurie told her that both of his parents have died and he lived with his grandfather. In the middle of their chat, Laurie invited Joe to dance. But she was too shy. The two of them danced in a quiet place, away from the crowd. While dancing, Meg called from the window. Meg said that she sprained her leg and couldn't walk home. Out of pity, Laurie then took them both home. When they got home while taking care of Meg's sprained leg, Joe's mother, whose name is Marmee, greeted Laurie kindly. Laurie smiled as she saw the rest of Joe's family. All his life, he never felt such warmth of his family, and Joe's family showed him. Days passed and Christmas arrived. That morning, Joe and her sister gathered while telling each other their dreams. Meg said that one day she wanted to be an actress. Joe said she wanted to be a writer, and Amy said she wanted to be a singer. Meanwhile, Beth's dream was not as ambitious as her sister's. She only wanted to be able to play piano to entertain her sisters and mother every day. Hearing that made her sister move and hug her. An hour later, their mother showed up. She said that she went to house of their neighbors, the Hummel family, whose husband was also fighting the war. She saw that the Hummel family had not eaten since yesterday. Even to warm themselves, the children had to sleep in one bed, hugging each other. If possible, Marmee would like to give some blankets and give all the food at their homes to the Hummel family. Out of pity, the four sisters agreed across the road. Laurie saw the sister from the windows with basket of food in their hands. He knew that Joe and sister wanted to share the food with others who needed more. When they came home far away, they were surprised to find lots of foods on the table. Their family mate told them both them before they returned home. Laurie and his grandfather came and gave them all the food. Amid of joy, Marmee took out a letter sent out from the father. The four sisters gathered to listen to Marmee. Even though the father was not there, this Christmas felt like the happiest Christmas for their family. The next day, Joe went to see her aunt. She visited her aunt once a week to learn the manners of noble women. Her aunt was a rich and stingy spinster, but even though she's stingy, she cared a lot about her nephews. That's why she wanted to teach Joe to behave like a noble woman, so she could get a rich husband one day. Despite all that, Jo didn't seem to want to get married. She just wanted to live like her aunt, become an independent woman who gained all she wanted all by herself. Meanwhile, her aunt wanted to inherit all her wealth for Jo when she passed away. One night, Jo and Meg were invited to watch a play with Laurie and Laurie's private tutor named John. While they were getting ready, Amy asked to come with her. She really wanted to meet Laurie because she had fallen in love with him since the first time she saw him with. He took her sister home. Sadly, they didn't have enough tickets, so Amy had to stay. In the theater, John kept staring at Meg. Four of them looked happy, enjoying the night together. But when they got home, Joe realized that her 100th novel gone. Joe was sure that Amy was the one who hid her novel. Joe argued with Amy, and suddenly Amy said that she had burned the novel because she was jealous of her. The words from Amy made Joe angry and beat her sister. Luckily, Marmee came to separate the two of them. After the situation calmed down, Marmee told Amy to apologize, but Joe didn't want to apologize to forgive her yet. The next day, during breakfast, Joe was still annoyed at Amy and kept away from Amy. Not long after, Laurie came to invite Joe for a walk. Amy, who felt guilty, then asked Meg how to get Joe to forgive her. Meg told Amy to go after Joe but don't say anything until Joe smiled. Amy immediately went to chase after Joe, but then in the middle of the road, while crossing the frozen lake, the ice broke and Amy plunged into freezing water. Seeing her sister in danger, Joe and Laurie rushed to save her. Thankfully, they managed to save her and brought her back home. That night at the house, Joe confided to her mother about her anger issue. Her mother told that despite her patience, she once had an anger issue, just like Joe. Her mother said if she tried, she would sure that Joe would be able to control herself too. Months passed and now Joe and Amy had made up. In the afternoon, Laurie took Joe and her family on vacations to the beach with John and Laurie's friend Fred. Meg and John's relationship seemed to be getting closer, likewise Joe and Laurie. Joe even had a special call for Laurie. Amy was not jealous of Joe anymore, but she still liked to paint Laurie from distance secretly. The next day, when Marmee was at work, she got the news that her husband, who was just returned from the battlefield, was being treated in the hospital. In a panic, the fourth sister, Laurie, and his grandfather helped Marmee to get ready to go to the hospital. Before leaving, Joe gave quite a lot of money to her mother. Marmee asked where she got that much money. Joe then replied that she had sold her hair to the salon while taking off her hat. Seeing her daughter's sacrifice, Marmee was very moved. 3 days passed, but Mammy had not returned from the hospital. That morning, Beth asked her sister to accompany her to see the Hummel family, since their mother left for the hospital 3 days ago. The Hummel family must be starving because no one gave them food, but instead of hearing her, her sister were too focused on the stuff. Beth decided to leave for the Hummel families alone. Before she went there, she went to Laurie's house first. She gave a pair of shoes to Laurie's grandfather as a thank you for helping their family from time to time. After returning home from the Hamels family, her sibling showed her a piano. Turned out Laurie's grandfather gave it to her as a thank for her present to him. He also sent a letter with it, saying that the piano was nothing compared to Beth's gift. Beth was so moved she then rushed to go and then hug the old man. Laurie's grandfather said that Beth reminded him of his late daughter when she was just a child. Amid the chat, Laurie's grandfather realized that Beth was having fever. At night, Beth was examined by a doctor. The results showed that Beth was suffering from flu, and if they were too late to handle her sickness, Beth's life could be threatened. The doctor also explained that this disease is easily transmitted to people who had never had the flu, so for a while, Beth must be quarantined. Meanwhile, Amy, who had never had the flu, must stay with her aunt for a while. 2 days later, Amy, who's still staying at her aunt's house, when she was painting, her aunt looked at her and found her gracious nature. Her aunt then asked if she wanted to replace Joe to come her place every week. Her aunt thought that compared to Joe, whose nature was tomboyish, Amy was more elegant and is perfect to be a noble woman and become successor. If Amy agreed to be a good girl, her aunt will guarantee her future. Hearing that, Amy, who was still innocent, smiled and happily agreed. Months passed, and today it was Max and John's wedding day. But instead of being happy like the other, Jo was actually sad. She then asked Meg to run away with her so that she could chase her dream instead of getting married. Meg said that it was her choice to marry and abandon her dream. Meg said that being an independent woman doesn't mean one should not fall in love. After the party, Laurie invited Joe to chat with her, just the two of them. At that moment, Laurie dared himself to propose Joe, but instead of being happy, Joe was angry. She said that she never wanted to fall in love from the very start. She just wanted to be an independent woman who was successful in making her dreams come true. For Joe, Laurie was just a brother to her. Laurie's heart was broken. Before leaving, Laurie said that no matter how hard she tried to avoid love, one day Joe would eventually fall in love. It is not humans who reach for love, but the love itself chose where to stay. Thank you for watching.